5 man-sized worms come wriggling and climbing up the stairway. Their mandibles gnash hungrily. Matthaios has never seen so many of the things at one time. The Neophyte draws one of the spark stones and hurls it into the midst of the maggots. It cracks open, releasing a small explosion of electric sparks. The blast lays waste to the vermin. 3 of them are slain instantly, and the other 2 fling themselves aside in a futile attempt to avoid the weapon's effect. Their leaps result in little more than contorted flips and flops as they are too severely injured to move effectively. Matthaios waits for a moment until the steaming, popping larvae stop twitching. What an incredible sort of weapon! He runs his finger over the single remaining spark stone. This must be what it's like to be a magus, to command elements and mystical forces. He thrills at the thought of being able to evoke such powers, or at the very least, to be able to craft such wonders as spark stones, ward stones, and the like. It's so clear to see how the Ascendancy ruled the world, and how they came to destroy each other. Who could truly wield such power without things eventually going awry? Though Matthaios rejoices in having slain the Kexia maggots with a single lightning blast, a strange discomfort claws at him, as though he has wielded something that is too great for mortals to control. Even a race as intelligent and wise as the Ascendants could not keep the dangers at bay forever. He puts the thought aside and focuses on the choice before him, the new armaments within the demolished coffer. Already he is practically at the limit of what he can carry without getting weighed down. The first choice is the easier one. He does not want to impair his mobility, thus he cannot keep everything. The second choice is much harder. The glaive is a great weapon, and it has served him well, but the protection afforded by his shield is very appealing. The crossbow is a superior ranged weapon compared to the humble sling, though it and the quiver of bolts weigh a substantial amount more. The Neophyte paces back and forth, tapping his chin, playing out various scenarios in his head. Finally, he decides that the increase to defense is too precious to forego. He puts down the 2 slings and pouch of sling bullets, as well as the dart and mage's rod. Lastly, he sets the glaive on the ground. You got me through some perilous battles. Perhaps I'll train further with this sort of weapon again at some point. Matthaios fastens the sword sheath to his belt, draws the blade, and gives it a series of swings and thrusts. It is a sturdy weapon, one that has clearly seen a good amount of use, whether in battle or in training. He picks up the light crossbow, stows it, then fastens the pouch of quarrels to his belt. His left forearm slides snugly into the strap of the shield, and his left hand grips its handle. It is a round shield, made from quality wood, reinforced with iron fittings. Low, then high, then side to side, he runs through a number of blocks, imagining different foes attacking him from different angles. The last of these visualizations is Bastus. Even within the theater of the Neophyte's mind, the Serpent Guard is a frightening opponent, with a curved blade that flicks out like the long, stretching tongue of the great serpent himself. A tongue of fierceness, a tongue of doom. I hope it does not come to that. The young warrior spends a short time reorganizing his equipment in order to move as freely as possible. He opens the packet of dried food he found just earlier and eats a large helping from it. This helps to keep his energy up at a maximum and sheds a couple more pounds of carried weight. Curious to see what else the southern complex contains, Matthaios explores some of the further passages in the area, moving cautiously and quietly as he goes. He comes to a ledge with a 10-foot drop and lowers himself down. It leads to a descending stairway, and past that, a lookout point. Down the stairs he goes, which leads him to a narrow dead-end passage. At the termination point, A panel is set into the wall. It has a puzzle lock, much like the one he found in the large block he opened with Epsilon Dia the 400th the day prior. He tries his hand at the various sliders in an attempt to crack the puzzle and open whatever compartment is concealed within. Alas, the puzzle befuddles the neophyte, and he does not gain access to whatever contents lie beyond. Not wanting to waste any time, Matthaios returns to his exploration. Heading back in a northern direction, he comes to a split. To the north, the corridor looks to stretch on for a great distance, and to the southeast are stairs. Bastus came this way. I wonder where exactly he went. Matthaios looks and listens. There's no sign of Bastus, but something else catches his eye. He notices a tiny hole concealed within the wall to his right, and the ground there looks slightly different from the rest of the area. He leaps over the suspicious section and lands without suffering any harm. Beyond is a set of stairs, then another. The downward passage leads to a dead end with a bronze coffer like the others he has come across already. He studies the container, wary of more traps. Nothing about it seems suspicious to him, and it opens readily. Inside is another sparkstone, along with a tanglefoot, a sticky alchemical tar that can be thrown onto an enemy to slow him down or even bind him in a standstill. Matthaios is excited about the find and quickly stows the two wondrous objects. He then ventures northward, ever observant of his surroundings. The corridor looks to stretch on for a long way. Its high walls are laden with ivy and mosses, and rocky bits rise up here and there like stalagmites. Surveying one of the walls is the Diorthicant's Epsilon Dia the 400th. Hello, Dia. It's good to see you once more.
Likewise, Neophyte. Wild growths are overtaking this corridor, and I am quite uncertain if I have the time and resources to bring it back into order. I predict this section will one day become just as overgrown as the area to the east.
I have just returned from that overgrown sector. It's half a jungle there.
So it is. I commend you for prevailing in yet another test. I see you have not found the Shrine of the Scaled Oracle as of yet.
No, not yet. I got lost in the maze and had to fight my way back here. When I arrived at the southern complex, Bastus challenged me to a duel to the death. I tried to change his mind, but the best I could manage was to buy myself 2 days' time before he comes hunting me down.
Oh, I see. What a curious situation.
Did you see him come this way just a short while ago?
That I did.
And he proceeded through this long corridor? It looks to extend out into the greater labyrinth.
Where exactly he went, I cannot say. But you are correct in that this corridor leads out of the trials.
Well, I need to get through that overgrown maze and to the Oracle and back within only 2 days. Is that possible? Any guidance you can provide, I would happily receive.
I believe it is possible, if you do not fall upon delays. I have no more guidance to offer you at this time, Neophyte. You seem to be doing well for yourself.
Great. I'll leave you to your duties, Dia.
Farewell, Matthaios.
Before heading back to the southern complex, the adventurer takes a few minutes to search over the immediate area. He comes upon a sliding wall panel, which holds a vial marked as Antitoxin. Once drunk, this alchemical fluid will provide Matthaios with a greater chance to stave off poisons for about an hour. This is a most useful find in a place such as this. He slinks through the southern complex, marveling at the architecture, which is at once both mighty and peculiar. The only detail which catches his eye is an inscription fashioned on a wall of a narrow, curving passageway. It is written in the tongue of the Ascendancy, an elaborate kind of alphabet whose script makes no sense to the young man. He comes back out into the open, pondering his circumstances. He has a generalized sense that there is something he is missing. If not here, then in one of the other areas. He thinks about the sealed iron door in the northern complex, but is altogether uncertain of where to find the replacement part to fix its opening mechanism. I simply do not have time to waste. I need to reach the Oracle as soon as I can. Back to the overgrown maze he returns. The sun has long since passed midday and is well on its way towards the setting phase. Matthaios estimates dark will be coming in an hour or two.